asked me to stand up.
You feel invisible at times.
And they broke my wheelchair. And I said, I can't stand even for a second.
What are you doing? Why are you not coming in the lift? All these people around you, out of them, 90% of them are disabled.
Hey, welcome back to Deconstructing Accessibility with Peter Gibson and I. We're going to be talking about manners towards people with disabilities. And here we have Jagu and Adarsh, who are going to tell us about their experiences. Jagu, have you had any experiences where you felt disrespected or respected by people around you?
Yes, I had a very funny story, very sad story, but I remember something at the airport that they asked me to stand up and sit into their wheelchair so that my wheelchair can be scanned.
But I'm so confused.
And how did you feel?
I said, I cannot stand. If I can stand, then I wouldn't sit in a wheelchair. And they were quite rude, and anyhow, they lifted me and put me in their wheelchair. But my wheelchair went in a scanner, and they broke my wheelchair.
Oh, God.
I think you told me before that didn't somebody grab your arm and tell you to stand up?
Yes, there was another story. That was when I was going to Sikkim.
Oh, but that was also similar.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Somebody actually grabbed you and shook you and told you to stand up.
Yes. They asked me to stand up and pull my arm.
Yeah.
And I can't stand.
I don't.
Oh, sure, you can. Just for a minute. And I said, I can't stand even for a second, let alone a minute. So this kind of incidents is happening all the time. They broke my wheelchair, so I had to ask them to give me their wheelchair.
Any experiences, others?
So one common experience I see in India, especially going to malls or public places or anywhere, is elevators. So a lot of times, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm waiting for the elevator, and I'm waiting even first in line. People kind of, you feel invisible at times, and they just walk right by you and enter the elevator.
Right past you.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story I'm sticking to.
Yeah, right past you.
I think people are probably wondering why I'm laughing, but it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You wonder, what is in the minds? What are they thinking
about?
Do they think that you're just staring at the door because you like the door of the lift and you like the way it's opening and closing? Do they not realize what's going on? And it's happened to us, I'm pushing Jagu up to the door. We're there. Doesn't matter if you're first or not, but we're there first. And then other people gather in and they start pushing in. We don't want to be right in front of the door because somebody's going to come out of the lift. So we're a little bit back, being polite, as you are. And then, like your experience, they just pile in. And then they're all inside and they're looking out as the doors are about to close. And they're looking at us like, what are you doing? Why are you not coming in the lift? There's no space left. There's no space for us. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll get somebody who say, oh, let's move to the side or something. But not always. Quite often it doesn't happen.
Actually, in the main city like Bangalore, in the city area, people are more, I think, aware. Because I've had experiences where they let you go first.
So what are some things that people should do when they see people with disabilities?
The ideal situation, of course, would be even if you're waiting in line, you go first.
Yeah.
Or people sometimes there's escalators right there. They can use an escalator. If there's
here's a radical idea. For the last 12,000 years, do you know the first steps were made? Probably just around the end of the last ice age, 12,000 years ago. So these steps are a really fantastic invention. You put one foot on them, and then you put the other foot on the next one, and the next one, and slowly you go up the mountain, or in this case, up inside the mall. And I'll tell you, I'm 60 years old, and I'm on a ship with 8 floors. I never use the lift. I never, ever use the lift. In the morning, I go from the back of the ship to my meeting on the top floor, floor 10. I start at floor 3, I think it is. And I always climb, and I'm from the top of the back of the ship to the top floor. It takes me 7 minutes without using the lift. Why do I need to use the lift?
My dad does the same exact. He climbs all this.
Yeah, I don't need to use the lift. I don't want to use the lift. It's not necessary. And if you're there and you see somebody with small children, somebody who's disabled, elderly person, let them go. Use the stairs. What's the difficulty with that? It's just it astonishes me that people think that the lift is almost like entertainment for them.
Yeah,
and they have a right. They have a right to use it.
It gives you exercise also, so it's good for you.
Yeah.
What stairs?
Stairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it keeps. I mean, that keeps me fit.
Are there any good times where you've had where they've actually respected you?
Yeah, of course. There are a lot of times people do let you go first.
Yeah. But in any other aspect?
Sometimes for fun, I also create awareness, like a mini lesson. I kind of block the doors and be like, dude, can you just telling you guys that I am here? And next time in the future, please don't walk around. Just, you should be aware that we're there in front of you.
Yeah.
So I do like very nice, like a small mini lesson.
Yeah. And I think that's very nice. You're very polite about it. This is very important that, yes, we can complain, but complaining, people don't like to hear complaining, and, it is a right. You have a right to access, you have a right to exist, you have a right to have an equal place in society. But there's a kind of habit that's formed in the disability community because of circumstance, really, the total disrespect and disregard, that there's a kind of whining and complaining voice that comes, and it's and aggressive also, and it just somehow doesn't help. So with compassion, and the other thing is we have to consider is that all these people around you, out of them, 90% of them are disabled. And you know how they're disabled? They're socially unaware. Their disability is not being able to look at the situation and think what is appropriate. What is my appropriate action? So that's a kind of neurodiverse, maybe I shouldn't even say that. It's a social disability. They have not had experience. They are not able to act appropriately. And so they do inappropriate and clumsy things.
So if you see a person with disability and they're struggling to open a door or something like that, should you make the assumption that they need help and immediately do it for them, or tap them on the shoulder and ask them if they need help? What should you do?
The best way is just to ask them before you go and help them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, maybe
them.
Wants to do it on their own. You don't know what they're. So it's better to ask if you want. Do you need any assistance?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of issues here. Somebody with a lot of confidence may ask, the disabled person may ask for help, but a lot of people have very negative experience, through stigma and maybe not being able to go out in public much, and so they feel and being made to feel, even by their family and so on, made to feel less important, that their voice doesn't need to be heard and all that kind of stuff. So for them, it might be appropriate. So that's why you should be very polite and, not condescending, but polite and gentle, and just say, may I help you? If you don't mind, I would like to open the door for you. Is it okay? Is that okay for you? and then just take it from there.
Yeah. How do you feel like when people just come up suddenly and start, grabbing parts of the wheelchair you're not supposed to?
I find very irritating when people start touching my wheelchair.
Hmm.
I feel that they don't know how to open the brakes. They don't know whether my brakes are on.
Hmm.
Right.
My wheelchair is foldable, and so some parts comes off, and they themselves don't know how they can help me.
I think another one might be like when you're watching something, like you're in a crowd or you're in an audience and you're watching something, and then somebody starts leaning on your wheelchair. You've had that experience, I believe.
Yeah, that
The
many
wheelchair
times.
starts rocking. It's like, what's going on?
It hurts my back,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
I don't like having pain, more pain than I need.
That you already have, yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting conversation. Where Adash and Jagu both use wheelchairs and they have similar experiences. And there are so many subjects about this that we could follow, but we're going to keep it short. And so until next time, thank you for joining us and follow us. You should subscribe, actually, because if you subscribe, then you'll get notification of the next discussion. And these are going to get quite critical, some of these conversations, quite difficult things to hear, and pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. Please give some comments and like the video. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. It was a good conversation today. Yeah, bye.